Happy New Year, boys and girls. Welcome, welcome. How we doing? get this loaded up. 414 capes for a total of 9 million gold. Damn. Let's hope the rest of the year continues that way, shall we? But yes, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Whichever part of the day it is for you. 2021 is upon us for virtually everybody now, I think. 4 AM here. Oh, there we go. Hey, what better time to start a live stream than 4 AM? Let's turn that down a little bit more. Can't even hear myself think. Nobody needs thumpy thumpy disco music at 4 AM. Righty, alrighty. Well, I didn't touch the mailbox yesterday. I didn't touch the auction house yesterday. Well, apart from the bit that you saw me. So, everything's a surprise. Do we think anything sold yesterday? Do we think many people were playing Warcraft last night? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to find out. Still got 4 million worth of items on the auction house, so something's definitely sold. Something is definitely sold. What is in here then? What is in here then? Some stuff. 1.4 mil. I'll take 1.4 mil. I'll take 1.4 mil. Oh, Coffee Club coming out in force this morning, boys and girls. Thank you, appreciate it. Happy New Year, everybody. Yesterday was quiet. Yeah, I imagine the festivities took over for many people yesterday. A lot of people were very happy to see the back of 2020. I'm quite sure of that. Been commenting on your videos under my other account, by the way. Glad I could finally catch you live. Oh, well, welcome. Coffee for me is muchos needed this morning. Few drinky drinks last night, not too many though. Keep it civilized. We didn't go out, we didn't really do much. We just made some nice food, stuck a film on, saw in the new year. We were actually like babysitting a friend of ours' dog yesterday, so we ended up with more dogs in the house than we usually do. So that was our New Year's, very socially distant, but nice. I'm not a big fan of doing crazy things for New Year. Was in bed by 9:30. That's the way to do it. Forget all of this staying up till midnight rubbish. Yeah, wow. Let's get some let's start the year how we plan to go on, with making a whole bunch of gold. Now, the best New Year's present ever in the everness of ever would be some cheap Callous hide. Nope. Nope. Right, 2021 is done. Game over. No cheap Callous hide. To reset it, unplug it from the wall, start again. Just realised I haven't had my morning coffee today. Guess I'm going to have it now at 8 PM. One potential downside of joining the coffee club. Coffee at any time of the day is fine. As long as you don't plan on doing much sleeping, it's all good. Take a decaf. It's all good. Although, to be fair, I genuinely don't see the point of drinking decaf, but sure. Well, now you see, because technically, I think it's Friday, right? If my brain is working correctly, my brain tells me it's Friday. And with it being Friday, that means only one thing. That means that tomorrow is Saturday. Well, that's usually how it works anyway. Which means that tomorrow is probably going to be a big day. I was hoping to stock up on some cheap materials today to get a full restock and to have spare materials kicking about. But it doesn't look as if that's going to be the case. We're still paying 1,700 gold for each Callous hide, which feels expensive. What's going to not help the problem is the fact that That lot I'm going to buy. Or, obviously, maybe I'm not going to buy it then, because the game doesn't want me to buy it. Anything under 170 gold is yoinks. All the yoinks. On top of that, let's look at any heavy callous hide under the same sort of value and go yoinks on that as well. That's that lot. Maybe we'll have those as well. Oh, that was a good way to spend 1.5 mil. Yoink. Not a big believer in decaf, just like I'm not a believer in skim milk. Yeah, it's kind of like skim milk is basically just white water, right? There's nothing else in it. At least that's how it feels to me anyway. That's how it feels to me anyway. Right, well, we've just dumped 1.5 million gold into callous hide. Was that a good idea? Was that a bad idea? I have no idea. But it should hopefully mean that even if we don't have huge amounts of materials spare for the weekend, we should at the very least have some things to sell. That's the plan. So all our purchases cancel out all our sales from yesterday. So that's fine. Let's just open everything then. If we open everything, we'll be back at where we started, but with a whole bunch more materials, so it's all good. Back to 2.5 mil gold. Although technically I need to put 150,000 gold in the guild bank, don't I? Yeah, 1.45, 145,000 gold in the guild bank. Let's not forget. 145,000. Keep our savings account. Oh, we got to put another. We can't leave it on. We can't leave it that shy. We got to put an extra 1,000 in there, just as a tip. Boom, 3.6 mil in the guild bank now. Excellent. Do you think demand for Legos will stay high like next reset? It depends what your definition of high is. I mean, in all honesty, we are now, in my opinion, over the crest of the hill. My opinion from this point on is probably just a downward dive to the bottom. The speed in which things go down, though, is going to be difficult to tell. The demand is, at this point and from this point onwards, always going to be less than what it ever has been. That doesn't mean you're not going to make a sale ever again. It just means that margins and profits might start to get a bit tighter. The amount of sales you start to make may be less so, but it's on a level such as that, well, if you sold 10 million gold worth of items last reset, you might only sell 7 million gold worth of items next reset. Technically that's less than before, but it's still 7 million gold of sales, you know, so it's all relative. Still expecting rank 4 sales for the rest of the week due to slower soul ash accumulation. Yeah, there's going to be this period of time where there's still a lot of people that won't have got their rank 4s, and so they will still be on the lookout to buy their rank 4 sort of soon as they get enough soul ash. But on an average, as we can only look at the market as a whole, I would say it's kind of peaked now. I can't see any reason why it would be. I can't genuinely figure out any reason to why there would ever be more demand than what there currently has been now. I can't see it going up any further, which means only one thing. Margins are thinner with prices coming down, but callous hide is not dropping. Oh, whoa, that I disagree with. Callous hide is dropping. It's just not It's not dropping. It's cheap at some parts. It's cheaper at some parts of the week than it was the week before. That's not to say that it's always cheap. There are still Callous Hide is still subject to pretty violent spikes up and down in price. When I start saying, "Oh, I've only made 7 million gold today," that's disappointing. I feel like I'm losing perspective. That's it. It's all relative. Like, you got to remember, like at the back end of BFA, which was literally a month ago. Let's not forget that it was literally less than 6 weeks ago. We were still in Battle for Azeroth, and people were still fighting over 6k gold an hour, raw gold. Now people don't even get out of bed for 6k gold an hour. You know. It's one of those. You just got to kind of... this is the period of the expansion where you make all of the gold. And then very quickly everything crashes. And very quickly people start scrapping at just whatever they can get. Alright, let's get those sent over. Those sent over. Let's log our other account and get them crafting, because there's no point us not doing that. I've been surprised how reasonably steady the hide prices have been. It's weird because by all understanding, Blizzard have even nerfed a couple of the skinning spots, which just seems bonkers. That in a time where, like, heavy Callous Hide is already making the cost of leatherworking items 10 times that of the other professions, seems a bit odd, you know. Yesterday got tailoring rank 4. Tailoring rank 4, almost all ranks, 2 missing. Invested 2.5 million in 2 days. Got 1.6 of it back already with a lot of items in stock. I just wonder if I started with it early. Yeah, I mean it's no secret that since the beginning of Shadowlands I'm up to over, well, in the last month, it's technically more than that, but within the last month I've done 44 million gold in sales, which is comfortably more in sales than I think I did for the entire of BFA. My data got swiped at some point through BFA, so it's not 100% accurate, but I'm pretty certain that... How far can you go back on this? 3 months, 6 months, a year. I mean, look at my gold totals. Look at the gold totals over the last year. Yeah, these gold totals they don't actually go back very far. They only go back to February last year. I mean, you can tell I basically didn't play the game last year. What's weird is what I don't understand is why it's not. I don't think I ever linked my accounts. That's why. Because there was definitely periods in time last year where I had multiple millions of gold, and it's not showing it here. So yeah, I don't really consider any of this data accurate. The last month though, we've gone from literally nothing to over 5 mil liquid, 144 million in sales. 44 million in sales. 1.5 mil a day. It's good enough for me. 1.5 mil a day, even at only 10% profit. Even at only 10% profit, whereas realistically I actually sit closer to 20-24% profit, somewhere in those ranges. As a whole, it's still a good amount of gold every day. I'm happy with it. Right, let's open all of this, get these items crafted, turn all of this into heavy Callous Hide. Now, whilst I don't necessarily plan to do any power leveling per se of leatherworking anymore, I do intend to get as much items stocked up as possible. This is a fair whack of heavy callous hide we've got though already. We've got two. We're going to have nearly 800 heavy. Wow, okay, I did buy a lot of that, didn't I? Let's hope we can maintain good prices. I think this Saturday is going to be mental as well, though. I think reset day was good this week, but I think Saturday, tomorrow, is going to be just as good. I expect a very gradual decline. Lots of alts, lots of second spec Legos, lots of casuals, at least a week behind. Yeah, it's not going to be it's not going to literally be like a drop off a cliff kind of thing. But I definitely foresee there being like we've hit the peak now. Until maybe, let's say, the next patch comes out, or interestingly, we might see a lot of things change, because of course we'll get the PTR, we'll get 9.1 patch notes, we'll get information about what's coming, obviously, before we get it. The day that we get information about what's coming in the next patch is going to be an interesting day, because that will likely tell us what's going to happen long term for the rest of the expansion. It's been interesting to see the difference between your realm and mine. 10 mil Tuesday, 5 mil Wednesday, and Thursday this week. But NA, you get your reset a day before, so your Tuesday is our Wednesday. Our big day of the week is Wednesday. Which does make the whole economy float in a slightly different way, because with the NA's reset coming a day before, it means that you've literally only got Monday after the weekend to kind of like stock up or do anything before you have a big spike in sales. Whereas we get that second day after the weekend, so things start to dip pretty heavily by the Tuesday, and you can often buy a lot of your materials really cheap on the Tuesday, and then really take advantage of that spike on Wednesday. Or Wednesday, Sunday if you're Oceanic, yeah. Started yesterday blacksmithing, but doubt I'll continue. Ranks 1 to 3 are on a minus. Rank 4 is at about 10 to 20% profit, and materials are expensive. Well, that's going to be the position that it's in. I expect tailoring to be in a very similar position if that's the case with blacksmithing. There'll be many people now that have had blacksmithing at rank 4 for a long time. They're quite simply happy to make virtually no profit on half of it now. But holding the profit margins really slim is a massive reason for people to not try and get into the market, so that they hold that position that they have on those. I mean, 10 to 20% margin on rank 4s. If they can sell rank 4s all day, they're happy as pig in mud. But it's a big hurdle for anybody else trying to get into it. Yeah, in my opinion, yeah, it's genuinely way too late to be getting into the legendaries now. Like I said, in my opinion, it's peaked now. It's only down here. It's only down from here on out. Now, I know that's very odd for me to say, considering I've literally just spent 1.5 million gold on heavy callous hide, but that is mainly so that I can restock everything and have a good day tomorrow, because I am, at least for the most part, not totally ahead of the curve, but I've kept up. I've kept up with the other players on my realm, so. Dropped to leather rank 4 prices by 50k today to try and make it more attractive to buyers. That's also whilst that's a good way to make it more attractive to buyers, that's also a very good way to aggravate the other the other goblins on your realm. Because whilst I've quite openly spoke about how that large undercuts are not Large undercuts, for the most part, are dumb because most people do it for the wrong reason. Most people do a large undercut because of the mindset that, oh, well, if I drop the price by a lot, it's going to sell quicker. That mindset is wrong, but there is genuine reasons to do chunky undercuts occasionally. It makes it more attractive to buy your rank 4s and then resell them while you're asleep. Well, hey, there's different ways you can play. If Kieran can sell his legendaries 50% cheaper and still make a profit, then nobody's lost, right? I think Kieran has a very lucky situation where he's a big fish in a small pond. It doesn't sound very much like there's a huge amount of other goblins on his realm, especially to be able to sell 9 million gold worth of capes. And is definitely taking advantage of having done a lot of crafting and skilling up of professions quickly and early. Spoke to a person with rank 4s on all the legendaries. He says he posts rank 2s to 3s at a slight minus to keep the competition out. Yeah. It's highly viable, and it's even more viable the more expensive the profession is. So for leatherworking, for example, oh boy, that's a good strategy. If you're still happy, if you still make more than enough profit for you to be happy doing it by just selling rank 4s at 20-30% profit, but making it cost literally millions for anybody else to even get to that point, then yeah. It's a legitimate strategy. Rank 4s are normally around 20k profit on mine. But if your rank 4s are still over 200k, well, that's it. That's a different story completely. Rank 1 to 2 Legos is where you see a lot of sell way cheaper and people will buy them all, when in reality you just have a certain amount of sales per day regardless. Well, this is it. This is where people don't understand demand. Those people that we saw dumping 15 of the same rank of a legendary on the auction house are people that simply do not understand how demand works. That there is going to be the same number of people wanting that legendary regardless of whether you craft one of them or you craft 10 of them. If you outstrip demand with your supply, then you don't win. It sounds like really simple economics to people that get it, but so many people don't get it. Now, on a profession like tailoring or blacksmithing, or even jewel crafting to a degree, in can step a very deep-pocketed goblin and just buy up a bunch of that stuff. But in a weird fashion, especially with rank 1s, it just incentivizes those people to go and craft another 15 and do it again. So it's very difficult to do that sort of thing with crafted items. So there was a lot of people that just didn't understand how the market was going to work at the beginning. Just dinged exalted with the Ascended. Seems like there are supply boxes again. Does somebody have more information on them? Are those boxes making money? Just install all the things, and all the things will tell you what's in them. Or just look it up on Wowhead. Yeah, look it up on Wowhead. Actually, don't install all of the things. Only install all the things if you hate yourself. It may sound dumb, but I'm getting tired of auction house camping. Made 13 million profit in the last few weeks, but constant cancel reposts is growing on me in a bad way. It's worth the grind. Trust me, it's worth the grind because if you make enough gold in the first patch of this expansion, you will be able to play the rest of the expansion like a king and will not have to think about gold at all. There's no big 5 million gold mount to dump a load of gold on. You're literally, if you hit gold cap in the first patch, you can live like a king for the rest of the expansion, or queen, obviously, and literally never have to think about gold again. So if you choose to sort of, just power through and make as much gold as you can whilst you can, then you're done. You can just say, right, gold making, done. I'm going to play the game. You know what the best thing is you can then take a 3-month break from the game and not have to worry about like game time running out or any big dramatic change, because you're done. You're done. Literally, game over. Done. You can then play the game exactly. You remove one of the biggest time sink factors of the game by making all of this gold at the beginning. Or you can just win blood money jewels later in the expansion. Hey, if you're into gambling, then sure. So Kieran, WoW's not your main game. What's your main game then? I'm intrigued because you seem to have a pretty good grip on how World of Warcraft works. Oh, PoE. Oh, well, that's another beast in itself. But PoE is seasonal though. It's so seasonal. You just no life it for whenever a new patch comes out, or seasonal, whatever they call it. No life it for a month, and then go back and do, and then go and have a shower. I've played PoE somewhat, but I've never got deep into it because it can very easily. Well, put it this way: there's a couple of games that I will play forever and a day. World of Warcraft, Factorio, and I'm ever so partial to a bit of Diablo from here and there. World of Warcraft and Factorio are my two games though. I didn't really want a third game to be on that list that I could literally no life. Because you have to call a limit somewhere. Normally play the first 3 weeks of an expansion, then don't play it again. With World of Warcraft even, it's one of those. World of Warcraft is one of those games where it can be super Bobs and Angels for life. Oh boy, I've never been big on Bobs and Angels, but C Block is my shit. But yeah, even World of Warcraft, you can play it like you can no life it for the first patch, and then no life it for the last patch, and then you're good. Do you stream Factorio? I'm thinking about it. I mean, it was technically only like August, September. I started making. I started content creation again. I did it years and years ago for World of Warcraft, but it's only a few months ago that I really got back into streaming and content creation and that sort of stuff. My thought is probably that this main channel will always be somewhat focused to World of Warcraft. I might do other games, so Path of Exile, Diablo, Factorio, that sort of stuff on a separate channel. Because I'm very aware that whilst I would love this channel to be, I know this sounds big-headed and egotistical, I'd love this channel to be more about me than it is about the game. I'm very, very aware that when you grow a new YouTube channel, 90% of the people that are interested in that channel are interested for the content rather than the creator. I know I'm not at that level yet where I can be as egotistical as to say that, well, I can put anything on this channel and you guys will watch it. I know that's not how YouTube works. I feel it would be fun to watch you make buses and trains in Factorio. It's really interesting for me to actually see just how many of you guys have also played Factorio. I genuinely didn't realise the player base for Factorio was so broad for what is primarily a single player game. But yeah, if we get to a point where we start playing / streaming / video creating for Factorio, the likelihood will be is that it will be on a separate channel. You mean Cracktorio? Well, yeah. Yeah, we have we have the heavy callous hide is the crack for Warcraft right now. The more people you add to a server of Factorio, the more fun it gets. I've never really dived into the multiplayer aspect of Factorio much, simply because it's not really super well supported, and it's always feels like a bit of a hack to get it to actually even work properly. But I've seen some of the more popular Factorio like YouTubers and streamers, for example, tend to virtually only do multiplayer modes, which I always find is really interesting. It speeds everything up like literally every one additional player you add to Factorio speeds the whole thing up like exponentially though. Unless you're one of those like 500 IQ speedrunners of it. Now those guys are just wizards, literally wizards. The 100-player server videos are so funny, but 5 to 10 people is the best. Yeah, there's a few funny videos out there of people just doing silly things with it. Right, we need a lot of this. Let's go. Wow, I don't even have enough soul dust for it all. That's a luxury that I don't think I've ever been in. I'm literally bottlenecked on soul dust, not even heavy callous hide. That's funny. That's hella funny. Now, I've got 18 days to disenchant all of these goddamn stupid arm guards, so whilst I'm not in so much of a rush, I should maybe just disenchant these. Yeah, to be bottlenecked on soul dust, that's the life. It seems you're always out of it. I'm always out of it because I'm too cheap to buy it at the prices that they have on the auction house, and I'm too goddamn lazy to craft these arm guards and disenchant them myself. So yeah, it's kind of a catch-22, I think's the phrase. But we'll disenchant these as I've already crafted them like a million years ago. I mean, heck, if one of you guys wants to disenchant me a bunch and send it to me at a good price, I'm always looking for buyers, or sellers, sorry. I think the biggest roadblock for selling more Legos to one person is that Torghast is the pain in the ass, especially for alts when you have to do 8 runs first week of cap. Well, yeah, this is the thing, the fact that Torghast is one of those things that's very front-loaded. I use the comparison with Visions, where Visions was the exact opposite. For the first couple of weeks of Visions, you literally had like 1-2 runs that could take you like 5 minutes each. You had basically had nothing to do with Visions for the first couple of weeks, but the more you got into it, when you started doing your 3, 4, 5 mask runs that would take 25 minutes, half an hour each, you had to sink a lot more time into it. Whereas Torghast is the opposite. It's very, very heavily front-loaded, with you having to complete each layer up to layer 8 first. But then once you have done all of those 8 layers, you can literally run in, spend an hour a week, get your 2 layer 8s done, and you're capped. Not to mention, by the time that you've got good enough gear to do that, you'll just breeze through it mostly anyway. I mean, we completed a 7 on stream yesterday, and my gear is trash. I'm like literally 170 or something like that. So my gear is still terrible, and I still was able to muddle my way through a level 7. So in theory, you could ding 60, buy a whole bunch of 168 gear, clear the first 7, maybe even 8 floors, which, when you think about it, if you're doing all of those first 8 floors in pretty much trash gear, it's going to take you a while. And I definitely think for alts that is going to be a factor. Especially because that alt class, you may not, especially if you're anything like me that just doesn't know the classes in great detail. My hunter, I know my BM hunter literally inside out, which means I can run through Torghast. I very intuitively know which things are going to pair together nicely because I've mained a hunter for years. But for alts that you don't play all that often, and you may not know the specs totally inside out, I can imagine that getting those first 8 runs done could be quite time consuming. Torghast feels like it takes too long, even just on your main. Gear changes all of that though. Literally, I imagine by the time you hit item level like 200, 215, something like that, you're not struggling to complete Torghast. You then get into like speed run mode, because every single item level that you can gain exponentially increases your speed in which you can complete those runs, to the point that you'll basically like you'll pick up a few powers on floor 1, and you'll just be in god mode for the last like 5, and you just won't stop. You'll just run and things will be dying around you. Up to layer 6 now with 169 gear. Yeah, this is the thing. Like, I don't think. I mean, on your main character that you know inside out, sure, you can probably breeze through all eight floors. But on those alts, you're really going to be capped mainly by just your own skill cap more than anything else. Skill cap and gear. Right, we need to make these 2 values balance. So this big old row needs to equal this tiddly row. When those 2 match, we need to stop crafting. $200 item level is a nice character to help friends speed their clears up as well. Well, that's true. I mean, it could be so easy to get boosted in there as well. But I'm relatively against the whole boosting thing in the first place. People that get their mains boosted, I just feel is like, well, what are you doing? You're just cheating yourself. Alts, whatever, do as you please, I don't care. But like for your main character, if you get your main character boosted, I think you're just doing something wrong. I want endless mode already. Oh boy, that was so fun in beta. I only played it a couple of times because I didn't really think it was much. I thought that the endless mode was just going to be there forever. I didn't realise it was something they were going to take away. So I think I only did it twice. I spent about 2 hours on one run at one point. I can't remember how far I got, but it was super fun. The difference between classes in Torghast is immense, though. Monk gets Vivify that can tick for 40k damage. In that case, you literally just run through, aggro everything, and it just dies around you. That's crazy. Paladin is a slog of boring hammer powers. Yeah, it's all about prot. Avenging shield, just a pew 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 all over the place. This is the thing. I like half the reason. I mean, the main reason I've leveled up a bunch of characters so far is simply for the purpose of legendaries. But the other point is the fact that I want as many characters at 60 so I can play Torghast on them. I don't care about endgame. I don't care about gearing. I just want to be able to run Torghast on a bunch of classes. $274k eviscerate on your rogue. Oh boy. That puts my 27k DPS hunter to shame. And I know 27k DPS was not really all that special in the scale of things. It was mainly the fact that I had like 100% crit chance that made it funny. But this is the thing, I want to just be able to play Torghast all day. And I want to be able to like get those god tier runs where just like the stars align, everything connects up, and you just blitz things. Because that's fun. That takes me back to the days of being super OP geared and just running through a battleground, just deleting people. Unfortunately, you can't so much do that anymore because, you know, this game has to be friendly to all kind of thing, but anybody past 600% haste in Torghast is 600% haste. That's bonkers. That's like, that basically turns like Chaos Bolt instacast. Just boop. You're dead. The hide price on your realm is so high, I just started to farm it. And I never farm because I hate it. I know. I mean, I've literally leveled my Skinner to 60 for that exact reason. Had to set auto clicker macros on for your mouse. You want to be careful with doing that. They're that's against TOS. Yeah, I think Torghast has got so much potential, so much potential. I just really hope, I really hope that Blizzard don't just consider it a feature that they just tank into the ground. I saw Bellula tweeted the other day that when we think back on how BFA panned out, patch 9.2 and patch 8.2 and 8.3 in BFA were basically doing everything that they could to fix the mess that 8.0 was. Azerite gear was bust. Islands were just dull. They made it so that you felt the necessity to run islands all day, whether you liked it or not. There was so much broken with the beginning of BFA that they had to spend so much development time fixing stuff that was bust. Whereas now, Shadowlands is good. 9.0, good. What do we think that Blizzard are going to be able to do with the next patches when it comes to actual content, when they're not like chasing their tail trying to fix things? Do we actually think that Shadowlands could as a whole be a really good expansion? I hope so. I really hope so. The The endless mode, also known as challenge mode, is coming when you finish all of the quests for Jaina Thrall, etc. But that still only caps out at 18 floors, I think, if I understand it right. Hang on, my bank character's gone offline. That's not what's meant to be happening. Not only has it gone offline, it seems to have crashed. We'll come back to that in a second then. The delay for Shadowlands helped, I think. It's weird. It's weird. I don't really think that... I don't think they did enough in that extra month that they gave themselves to justify it happening. But maybe that's a hindsight thing. I'm sure behind the scenes they probably did actually do a lot. But they basically all they did with that extra month was just nerf the crap out of everything. Nerfed all of the classes, anything that felt too powerful, crush it into the ground. Crush it into the ground now, and they can make it stronger later, was the approach that they seem to go with. Hence why a lot of the legendaries feel kind of meh. There's very obviously a Biss legendary, and the rest of them are just meh. I think that was deliberate. Because they couldn't balance everything, they wanted to make it so that one worked, and one worked well, and one was fun. And that was the only one that people were going to fix, and then they can, you know, use all of this time now that the game is out and live to sort of tweak and tune in the background, and hopefully we'll see some relatively large changes coming into the next patches. But we'll have to see. Did I even do a cancel scan this morning? I don't think I even did a cancel scan this morning, did I? What a terrible gold maker. Didn't even do a cancel scan. Just dumped 1.6 million gold into Callous Hide and then called it a day. What a fool. Made my first mill 3 days ago, part in thanks to you and your vid, so thank you. Ramen with Attitude. Firstly, cool name. Secondly, congrats dude, well done. First week was buggy as hell. First week's always going to be buggy as hell, and there's always going to be crazy things happening. This is hence why I wasn't too concerned that I mostly sat in the auction house. It's very difficult to come across many bugs if you don't leave the auction house. Come on. One more cancel, let's go. There we go. Boom. Now, I don't know about you guys, but being able to live stream, doing what is often considered the more monotonous tasks, cancelling, reposting, crafting enchanting materials, recrafting items, that sort of stuff. I do really appreciate being able to have like a good conversation with you guys whilst I do it. Pretty sure sleeping early and waking up early is supposed to be healthy to you, so props to you. I'm not sure who that was designed at, because or meant for, because it definitely isn't me. I'm the exact opposite of that. I go to bed late and I get up late. Just got revered with the Ascended. I'm not even revered yet. I'm not even close. I've been double level slacking. funny you say that. I'm sure we're doing the exact same thing. Posting 8,000 auctions across 88 different servers. Damn. Yeah, that is almost the definition of monotonous. Right, we finally actually did a relist. Now we can just, you know, let the gold come in. That's the way that it works now. List everything and then wait for the money to turn up. Let's get crafting on these again. I mostly tune in for the commentary, to be honest. I've had a lot of people say that they basically use my live stream as a podcast, and I'm absolutely fine with that. Just got gold cap a few days ago because of your leatherworking pyramid video. I want to thank you for your knowledge. Oh, that's cool. I'm glad that video helped a few people. It was funny. I never really imagined that to be much of a thing, but it's actually one of my, at least it's by no means one of my best videos that I've ever made. But from a personal point of view, I liked that video a lot. I feel like one thing I usually struggle with, and this is why I stream a lot of the stuff first, is I struggle with articulating exactly what it is I mean. Which is why if I just sit down and try and record a video, I often have to do it 2 or 3 times. Whereas if I've done it on stream at least once first and then I sort of reiterate it, I usually tend to find I get my point across in a more precise fashion. And I think the leatherworking pyramid video, as you call it, it wasn't necessarily specifically focused on leatherworking, it was just legendaries as general. But I definitely think that came out pretty well. Is the final destination for goblins to feel like the Walmart in WoW, crushing competition and flooding markets at whim? Yeah, kinda. There's also one big advantage of doing it in World of Warcraft, is that you've got no monopolization laws to stop you doing it. Walmart constantly have to be aware of the fact that they are theoretically breaking the law a lot of the time. Oh my god, we're meant to be stopping, we're crafting too many. I got distracted. Yeah, there's laws against doing things like that in the real world, not in Warcraft. Worst case scenario is Blizzard are going to step in and ban you for like manipulation of economy, and at that point you're just like, well, fuck it, just, you know, I'll start again. I do genuinely need to stop swearing in my videos though. It comes so naturally, but every single one of my live stream gets demonetized. I missed the train on Crafter's Mark. Next patch or the new Crafter's Park will be mine main focus. I knew there was going to be a market for the 168 gear. Whilst though I also was aware that the amount of time and effort into just that market was going to be pretty intensive. In terms of the fact that it meant running the Maw every single day religiously. Whilst that is, it has been very profitable for some, I knew it was a market that was going to come and go very quickly. And so I almost chose to not try and do it. I was very aware it was a thing. My focus was on legendaries. I'm not very good at multitasking, and you'll be aware of this the more you watch my streams. Even having 2 accounts running, I struggle to be doing 2 things at once. And so when I focus on something, I pretty much go ham on it. Which is hence why I've not been doing Dark Moon cards, which is hence why I've not been doing flasks and potions, hence why I've not been doing enchants, I've not been doing feasts, I've not been doing a lot of everything. I've just literally been very tunnel vision focused on legendaries. I think it's for good reasons. It kind of has meant that I know my market. The market I'm in, I know it inside out. And I think that helps, actually, to kind of make it work. Spoke to a few GMs a few times about messing with the economy, and they are very hands-off and don't want to get involved. Oh yeah, they literally want it to be as fluid and as free-forming as possible. They will only step in very, very extreme circumstances. Like if somebody chooses to literally buy every single item of a certain category, regardless of price, and never relist them on the auction house and completely strangle a market, even in those circumstances, Blizzard are unlikely to do anything. For example, there was one dude at the beginning of Shadowlands, because of the the Eternal Crystals. One guy literally bought every single Eternal Crystal that ever hit his realm's auction house and just strangled the entire server of Eternal Crystals from day one. And what that ultimately meant was that he was the only enchanter crafting enchanting mats for like a good couple of weeks. And so he was charging like 100% profit on every single enchanting mat, and just he didn't need to craft any legendaries because he made all his gold crafting the materials and selling them to the people that were making the legendaries. Even in that sort of extreme scenario where he just strangled the entire server of a material, Blizzard would chill. Right, we should now, in theory, minus the fact that we don't have anywhere near enough arboreal shards, so let's head over to Bastion to buy some of those. We should now be able to do a full restock on leatherworking in its entirety, and hopefully have some materials left over to do maybe a little bit of extra crafting where we foresee it valuable, to maybe get a few things up in rank. What we will be doing is we will be calling upon the assistance of Legendary Stock Tracker. If you haven't seen yesterday's video, I suggest you watch yesterday's video. Although Stream Elements is telling people that the latest video is the wrong video again because I forgot to change it. But yesterday I did a small little video highlighting this Legendary Stock Tracker, why it's kind of quite cool and why you should be using it if you're into legendaries. So I'm going to give you a hands-on demonstration of exactly how it works in a minute. Just need to get a few more materials together. The fact that you always have to fly through Oribos though, that's one thing I really do hope they implement something in 9.1. Because no flight whistle in Shadowlands annoys me to this very day. The fact that we have no flight whistle. And the fact that if we want to go from one zone to another, we can't just fly from one zone to another. We have to go through Oribos first. It's really frustrating. You actually waste so much time in Shadowlands just travelling places. It kind of almost feels like classic in that respect, in terms of that you would genuinely, if you wanted to get from one side of the map to the other in classic, it could take you a good 20 minutes, half an hour to do it. But the argument stands is that this is not classic anymore. We have flying mounts, we have portals, we have hearthstones, we've got all the stuff. We've had all of the tools available to us to make transport and travel quick and easy. And we're not allowed to use any of it. We need to send this dude some gold to buy some arboreal shards, I'd imagine. It'd kind of be quite nice as well to get to a point where I can actually use some of the other professions for something more than just legendaries. Maybe that day will come. Right, send this dude 113,000 gold. Should we just double it up? Should we just send him 250? Double it up. Once we get flying natively, I think the problem will sort of be less of an issue, but it's still the fact that you have to go through Oribos every time. It's kind of annoying. Right, we should be able to crank out some leatherworking gear now. Arguably, I don't know how much we need to restock, to be fair, but we'll see. Do you think rank 4 legendaries will go down in price or up? Down. There's no reason for them to go up anymore. There's only one slight possibility that they'll go up, and that's if the people that have the ability to craft them dumpster the prices of rank 1s, 2s and 3s deliberately. To just basically put up a wall and say, right, nobody else is going to be able to get to the point where they can craft rank 4s without investing millions of gold. And if they put that wall up, then they can arguably then start to charge more for the rank 4s because there's only a handful of people that can craft them and sell them. But the likelihood of that happening is very, very slim. For the most part, in my opinion now, legendaries have kind of hit their peak, and it's now a race to the bottom. Right, what we need to do is we need to do a few things to make sure that this add-on has got all its knowledge. It's checked our bags. Legendary stock track. When you hover over the legendary stock tracker button, it shows you your bags. You'll also see it's scanned 0 items in the bank. What's usually worthwhile is just checking the bank again, because as we know, that was a lie. It doesn't seem, one thing it doesn't seem to do is remember the location of stuff. It doesn't seem to have any sort of database in that regard yet. Maybe that's coming soon. But if it's showing zeros when you use the legendary stock button, so it now knows there's 134 legendaries in the bank. It knows there's 33 in our bags. It knows there's 144 on the auction house. Hopefully if I open this, it will now learn about all of the ones in the guild bank. It does. It knows there's 47 in the guild. And if I open the mailbox, I don't think there's anything in there anyway. There isn't. So right, it now knows where everything is. Now what we can do is we can click the button, clickety click, do a Control C to copy all of that data. This is going to be presented to you in a slightly nicer form soon. I've seen sneak previews. Now what we can do is we can load up the sheet. Where is it? Legendary stock tracker. Here it is. And you paste everything into A1. So we do a Control V on A1. And then we split it into the columns. Bingo, bango, bongo. Hey presto, the magic has happened. Now we can say, right, we want to restock 2 of everything. Anything that has got a blue box here is something that we arguably should restock and is profitable for us to do so. Now, whilst this information is kind of cool, how well can you see that? You can all see this relatively well. You can see rank 1s virtually across the board. There is only one item where there's at least, well, Shadowghast Greaves is somewhat profitable at rank 1. Bone Shatter Treads are profitable at rank 1, but virtually everything else is just like nope, 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 nope. Weirdly, Bone Shatter Greaves, it doesn't give me pricing for. That makes me think that one of my TSM groups is orked. Possibly. This isn't got anything to do with the add-on or the spreadsheet. This is something to do with my TSM setup, I think. But quite interestingly, you can see on my realm, based on my crafting prices for the legendaries, even rank 2s, a few of the leather bits and pieces are profitable. Leather is still profitable at rank 2. Virtually everything is profitable at rank 3, and everything is profitable at rank 4. So leather. This is why I spent 1.6 million gold on leatherworking, because I need to get some of these blue boxes. I need to get them back in stock. Blue box indicates that you're out of stock of it and it's profitable and you can craft it. So we need. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 8 different slots that we need to fill. Just for leatherworking right now. What we can also do is we can go to stock overview, and it shows us just quite literally the quantities of what we have, which is kind of cool. You can see if we look at leatherworking, we have a scarily low amount of everything. So this is what we're trying to fix now. You can choose to restock stuff based on profitability, which is for most people the sensible way of doing it. Only recrafting items that are profitable. Yet, mainly upon my request, I feel, there is the option to restock everything, regardless of profitability. And this tends to be what I do. This is how many I have in stock of everything. So this is kind of this is what I'm going to focus on. I'm going to be crafting a whole bunch of everything. Is the spreadsheet part of the add-on, or have you set it up yourself? The spreadsheet was designed and created by the add-on creator. Obviously, you don't. It's an add-on. You don't get. If you use my video from yesterday, you can get a link to this spreadsheet. The link to this specific spreadsheet's in the description. I mean, by the nature of a spreadsheet, you can make your own if you feel that it can do, or you want it to be customized in one way, shape, or fashion. If you want to customize it, you can do so. It's a spreadsheet. So now I know that there's a whole bunch of things I need to be crafting based on what I've got in stock. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste this here. The reason being, oh, it doesn't paste very nicely. Why are these? Oh, that's why. It doesn't copy and paste very nicely because there's... okay. I was hoping I could just go... Can I copy... I want to copy its actual figures, not the operations. This is it. Hey, what have I done? This is still the issue that I have with using a spreadsheet like this that is dynamic in terms of it will change based on something else. Because with my spreadsheet, for example, I can just write numbers in here and they don't relate to anything. And so then when I craft it, I just delete the numbers again. The only thing I could do is copy this information from one to another, but that's kind of clumsy. This is why I want paste special just values. But if I copy this and I do a paste special, values only. Hey! See, this is why I keep you guys around. This is why I keep you guys around. So anything that I've got enough of, I can delete. I need to craft one of those. I need to craft two of those, two of those, two of those, one of those, two of those, two of those, two of those, two of those. Assuming, of course, that I actually have any zeros need to become twos. Assuming I have the ability to actually craft these. So this is now my restock list. This is now my restock list, assuming that I can actually craft those items in the first place. Now, not that I don't trust the add-on. Not that I don't trust the add-on, but I'm going to cross-check between how I used to do it previously, and you can see the difference. So previously, this was my default restock list, and what I would do before is if I move this over, is quite simply, I would go to the auction house, and I'd go Umberhide, and I'd alphabeticalize it, if that's a word. And I'd say, right, arm guards. I only have a single pair at rank 4. I like to keep 2 in stock. So I need to put one more in there. Rank 3s, I need 2 of. That I need 2 of. That I need 2 of. And then we go down to gauntlets. And so I've only got 2 rank 2s, so I don't need to stock any of those. But I do need 2 rank 1s, because I haven't got any. Then we go to helm. We've got 2 rank 1s, we've got 2 rank 2s, but we need 2 rank 3s and 2 rank 4s. If it's a green box, it means I can craft it currently. Legs. I've got rank 1s, I've got rank 2s, I've got no rank 3s, so I need 2 at rank 3. Now, although I have a pair at rank 4, it's because I bought them rather than crafting them. I can't actually craft rank 4s yet. Shoulders. Oops, wasn't meant to actually click on the game. Shoulders, we have only a single pair at rank 3, so we need one more at rank 3. We could do 2 rank 4s, 2 rank 2s, 2 rank 1s. Boots or treads, we have 1 rank 1, so we could do with a second one. We've got 2 rank 2s already, we could do with 2 rank 3s to restock. Vest, and you can see how whilst this system that I used before works, with the use of the add-on I can do it in literally just a couple of clicks instead. I'm just doing this simply for the purpose of comparison, just to see and check that it kind of like, you know, looks the same. 1s and 2s, we're fully stocked on those. So by my list, this is what we're looking at. If we copy and paste what this was as a comparison, does it look the same? 2, 2, 2, 1, 2. Now see, it's telling, the other spreadsheet was telling me to craft 2 at rank 2 for gauntlets. But I don't need to craft 2 sets of gauntlets because I've got 2 sets of gauntlets. They're here. That's incorrect. Gauntlets. Umberhide gauntlets. It says I don't have any. I do have them. Is this a bug? If I do a Umberhide gauntlets. Oh, you see, now it says I have 2 of them. Huh. Copy. Aha, now it says I've got them. Okay. Okay. Maybe that was my bad. See, what I then want to do is because this says restock all, this shows you which ones you should recraft up to. I want the inverse of what this is up till, because I did, for reference, I made this, where is it, restock 2.0. I made this sheet here, which was basically the same, where I input the data. So if I do a control, oh, balls. Alright, well, I haven't got the data anymore. If I input the data here, I have this side of the sheet that basically gives me my version of, let me just copy this information again. Copy this, okay. Go back to my sheet. That was my custom version. See, what this does is it takes the data and then it automatically makes my own restock list in the format that I like. So it takes where I've got things in stock, it doesn't list them. So now, for example, if I look at leather, this should match I can copy that, because these are all, this is basically some fancy if statement. So it's if, when I take the amount of stock that I want away from the amount of stock that I've got, it's a number less than 0. It just presents a 0, telling me that I don't need to restock it. If the amount of stock I have against the amount of stock that I want is a number greater than 0, then it tells me how many it is that I need. This is just some fancy, it's not even fancy, but it's just to get the right format of, because this is actually my restock list, not this. This is, once again, this still tells me what I have in stock, and what I'm interested in is what I don't have in stock. And this is telling me what I don't have in stock, what I need to actually craft. So I can take this and I can do a paste special on values only. And then I can then use this and just delete when I craft things. So the spreadsheet that comes with the add-on, or the spreadsheet that's been designed by the add-on creator, he doesn't seem to be here today. When it comes to restocking, it's still showing you what is in stock. It's somewhat sensible to do a little bit of converting or spreadsheet magic yourself to convert it into a list of what you actually need to restock up to a certain value. So you can see if I change my restock limit, if all of a sudden I want 5 of everything, I can change it there, and now it tells me, right, because you want 5 of it, you now need to craft 5 of these. But Grimvale pants, for example, it's telling me that, well, I already have more than 5 of them, so I don't need to. If I did like something ridiculous, like 25 of everything, virtually everything should then turn green. But if I only want to restock 2, this is actually creating my restock list, which is not the stock that I have, but it needs to know what stock I have to be able to tell me what stock to craft. But this version is also in my spreadsheet, so you can, my Shadowlands cheat sheet, it's restock 2.0 is there, but it works the same way. It works the same way. You paste the data from the add-on into A1. It doesn't give you all of the fancy formatting on profits and whatever, but it will then tell you, it will then allow you to get like an accurate restock list of what you actually need to craft. Right, so let's actually craft these things. My dogs are going mental. Mental case. Hang on. Back into... Okay, we're back. It's all good. It's all good. Doorbell more than sparked them off. The doorbell made them go mental. Right. Right, so now we've actually got we've got our list of what we actually need to stock. That's cool. And it matches what I think it should match, which is also kind of cool. What I could theoretically do, I think, is if I copy this, can I then paste that into... Let's delete this. Can I... Why is the boxes there? I don't know. Can I paste it here? Hang on. What format is it? Arm guards got... Oh no, it's got to be the right order as well. Oh, okay, whatever. I was just thinking, could I post it on top? Arm guards, gauntlets, helm, legs, pauldrons, treads, vest, waist. Rank 1, 2, 3. Oh, I can just paste it on top, look. I can go... Paste special, values only. Bingo! I can just paste it over the top of my sheet that also then has the formatting to tell me what I can actually create yet. Haha, we're getting somewhere. We're finally getting somewhere. Right, well there's my restock list then. Cool. This is the nice thing about using spreadsheets, is that you can always customize it exactly how you want it to be. Let's switch back over to our crafter dude then. We should have materials for days. That's the plan. Look at all of these big juicy numbers. Right, so let's work through what we need. I'm going to focus on crafting anything that we actually still need to rank up. So gauntlets we still need to rank up on. So let's focus on getting 2 rank 1s first, because that's what we need. Let's just put them down here for now. 2 rank 1s. We don't need any rank 2s. But we are so close to being able to craft rank 3s, I think I should probably craft another couple. Another rank 2. What do we need? 15 more. So another rank 2. And then let's just say one more rank 1. Because if we needed 2, we could probably do with a third. Bingo! Umberhide Gauntlets rank 3. Finally, eventually. And then we could do with crafting 2 of those. Let's also make that box green in our sheet, so we know what we're doing. And then 2 at rank 3. Now that we can. Where did it go? Right. Done. We could obviously still do with 2 rank 4s, but we ain't there yet. We can't make them, so tough bananas. Umberhide Legs is the next one I want to look at. We need 2 more rank 3s. Ooh. Ooh, we're almost to the point where we can make rank 4s now. 2 more rank 3s. Where did it go? There's 1. Where did it go? There. Jesus, the lag. What's going on? Right, we are 20 experience away from being able to create rank 4s. 15 would be... So one more rank 3. Let's just do one more rank 3. And then probably a rank 1 just to get those last 5 and do it cheaply. And then that will mean we can actually craft rank 4s of those as well. Bingo. Another one capped. Nice. We've already got one set at rank 4 anyway because we bought some the other day. So we'll live with just the one for now. Now we can actually craft it, which is cool. Happy New Year. Managed to finally catch you live. Happy New Year to you too. Any idea why TSM thinks I have more revenue than I actually do? On Tuesday it seemed to report about 50% too much for the day on the dashboard. No idea. Maybe you've transferred gold or from one character to another and it's not recorded the transfer or something, and I'm not sure. Finally, level 4 in Helms, can sell them for 340k as I'm the only one. That's pretty fancy. That's pretty fancy. Right, what's next on our list to actually... So we've done the legs. We still have a bunch that we need to recraft. So shoulders we could definitely craft a bunch of, but I'm gonna do the boots first because the boots actually are. We're almost at the point where we can make rank 4 boots as well. This is really cool. Rank 3s, 2 of those. Two at rank 3. We need a single one at rank 1 anyway. Now we are that close to being able to create rank 4s. We're going to create another couple of extra ones just because. Now the extra ones we're going to create just because probably should be the higher ranks, theoretically. We get 15 experience and we need 25. So let's do a rank 3. A spare rank 3. And then probably a rank 2 to go with it, because we just want the cheapest option to get the experience we need. And a rank 2 is likely to sell for profit. And there we go, boom, another one at rank 4. This is good news. Now we're gonna how are we doing on materials? We're doing alright on materials as well. Let's bang out 2 rank 4s then. This is not going to please my competition much that I'm powering up leatherworking at this point in the game, but they'll have to live with it. Right, Umberhide Vest. We only need a single one at rank 2 is what we actually need. But once again, we are only 3 crafts away from being able to create the rank 3s as well. Working with auction house mats, are you grinding away? I'm guessing auction house. You guessed correct, my friend. You guessed correct. White hatted, happy new year to you too as well. Welcome, welcome. Wait, you can get experience from rank 1 to count for rank 3 to 4? Yeah, of course you can. Of course you can. Experience is experience. Now, Wasteguard I'm not too fussed about pushing to rank 3 because I'm still far behind on it and the damn things just don't sell. So, but the vest though, the vest is very, very tempting. What are we sitting at with gauntlets actually? Oh, we're miles away from rank 4 on the gauntlets. We've only just unlocked those. So maybe this will craft an extra couple. We need 3 more at rank 2. Let's just do it. 3 more at rank 2 will unlock rank 3 for us. And I guess in theory then we should probably craft 2 of those as well. Right. So they're now craftable and stocked. Okay, that's about as far as we're going to get from a power leveling point of view. Now we just need to restock on some of the things we're missing. So pauldrons are good ones. Umberhide pauldrons. Rank 4s, we don't have any. Let's create one of those. Let's make sure we're at least representing every slot. We need a rank 2. And we could do with a single rank 1 as well, which is odd. But Umberhide pauldrons are always a good seller. Oh Christ, where did it go? There. We're also missing a lot of the arm guards, Umberhide arm guards. We've got a single rank 1, we need a rank 3. Morning caffeinated people. Is that the colloquial term for the coffee club members now? Caffeinated peoples. I like it. I like it. Let's do a rank 2. Can't believe we just spent 1.6 million on materials and we're already almost out of materials again. This is bonkers. And we haven't even looked at mail gear. It's never failing to surprise me just how goddamn expensive these materials are. Umberhide helm, we're missing a bunch of. We need at least 1 at rank 4. We need at least 1 at rank 3. $1.6 million gold in heavy callous hide we spent earlier, and I still haven't been able to complete a full restock on even leatherworking. Damn, we've only got 23 heavy callous hides left. Any gold making news, sir? 2021 is going to be big for gold making, just a prediction. Not necessarily news, but you know, it's a prediction. With profits from leatherworking, I started to subsidize blacksmithing. I need to grind through the level 1 to 2 market. I'd be careful because even with blacksmithing especially, even when you get to rank 3s and 4s, the potential profit in them may not ever mean that you make your money back at this point. Right, so we crafted a bunch of stuff, but we are still left with we're still left with a whole bunch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, at least 10 more that I would like to craft. We'll have to see if we can get our hands on any more cheap heavy callous hide. But that was a lot of legendary items we crafted. Not only did we craft a bunch of stuff, we also got a few things up in rank as well. So it was definitely worth the expenditure. Let's get those sent over. I think that's everything. We've got 26 enchanted heavy callous hides left, and we've got 23 regular. We've got a whole bunch of... We bought way more arboreal shards than we actually needed. We only needed about 600 arboreal shards for all of that. Definitely didn't need the 2,000 I bought, but hey, whatever. It's not like we won't use them. Do you have any suggestions on what to invest in if you missed the window to get into legendaries? Was heavy into tomes, but they seem to have crashed. As it stands right now, outside of legendaries, we're still heavily in raid season, so I would imagine your consumables have got some profit in them somewhere. The trick with a lot of stuff is getting your materials cheap. There's very few barriers to entry. It's not like you have to grind out rep to get patterns or anything like that this time around. So you really do just need to focus on getting your materials cheap. But if you can get materials cheap enough, virtually any of the professions are still going to be pretty profitable. But it's going to very quickly get to a point where it's going to be tough to simply buy materials, craft items, and then sell them for a profit. That's going to get tougher and tougher every day. Farming callus and herbs to power level to your longboy. Need something to break the monotony though. Anything aside from legendaries that's going to make a load of gold in the future that you can work towards. Arguably it's difficult because professions, I mean I said this in the beta, once the legendary game is over, professions are going to crash really hard, really fast. This is why literally making as much gold as you can now. I foresee us very quickly getting into a BFA kind of mode where just things will crash very quickly, unfortunately. My only suggestion is make as much gold as you possibly can now, so that when it crashes, you're sat on a nice nest egg of gold and don't have to worry about making gold anymore. Because it's going to get very challenging. There is no way that we can maintain this amount of gold for much longer. Consumables are still suffering from people force leveling their professions, aside from recipes locked behind rep though. Yeah, that's probably true. Made 1 million in profit since Christmas Eve by crafting Shadowlands non-legendaries. There's still profit. Oh yeah, there's still small amounts of profit in everything. The difficulty is especially for people in my position, for me to spend any time doing anything else that isn't focused on the legendaries right now is just not worth it. Not even close. But I'm aware that if you're not in the position that I'm in with having virtually all of the legendaries available to you, that there's not a huge amount outside of just skinning. You like go skinning like a mad person, because you can still, if you can't craft the legendaries yourself, the best thing you can be doing is providing the materials to those that are crafting legendaries. That's the next best thing right now. Now, a lot of people don't want to hear the answer of, well, you should just go farming. But with the price of heavy callous hide, region-wide right now, that is legitimately the next best thing to actually crafting the legendaries, is farming the materials for the legendaries. Right, let's just do an entire cancel scan. The likelihood is there's a lot to cancel. Then we can get all of those leatherworking things back up on the auction house. In fact, I'm going to, before I do that, there's a bunch of these items I'm going to need to put in groups and rejig and sort out the operations for. So let's do that before they get lost in the mix of a load of cancelled auctions. Groups, we've got Umberhide Gauntlets at rank 3. Rank 3 Umberhide Gauntlets go. They need an operation on them. They need base Legos, leather, tier 2, rank 3. That one. Let me just check what that actually is. Lots plus lots plus lots plus lots plus lots minus discount 0.8 and 5. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Umberhide Treads at rank 4. Oh, this is interesting. This is where we need to change a bunch of operations. Rank 4. Umberhide Treads in there. They now need an operation based on it being maxed. Because when I've got the ability to craft all 4 ranks and I'm not looking to craft things for experience, I increase my margin slightly. Leatherworking tier 2 rank 4 max. That also then means I need to go retrospectively, that's not a word, is it? Retroactively go back and change the operation on the rank 3s, 2s and 1s, because we can now ask for a little bit more margin, because, you know, because we can. Leatherworking tier 2 rank 3 max. So yep, now we can delete that one off. Let's do the same here. I made all of these operations way in advance. Leatherworking tier 2 rank 2 max. Yep, delete that one. And then do the same for rank 1s. Leatherworking tier 2 rank 1 max. Yes, delete the old one. Pretty sure retrospectively is a word, although it may not have been the one you're looking for. Well, that's likely to be the case. There's many words that I say that are definitely words, just not the right words at the right time. Right, what else do we need to put in a group? We have Umberhide Vest at rank 3. Because I have 2 slightly different operations for everything. I have an operation for while I'm still ranking up, which is based upon, it basically means I'm willing to sell it at virtually a loss if needs be, just to sell it and to get turnover. Just because every time I craft, I get the experience from crafting it as well. But once I stop getting experience from crafting them, I make sure that I then never sell them at a loss, and that I only sell them when they're profitable, which will in turn mean that I then only recraft them when I sell them, and I only sell them when they're profitable, so it all works eventually. Umberhide Vest rank 3, you go in there, but you also need the operation of Leatherworking tier 3, rank 3. T3 rank 3, not the max version. So this, for example, leatherworking tier 3, rank 3. If I go check the operation, you can see the minimum price, the multiplier is 0.8. So technically, I will sell these under crafting cost, just to sell them and just to get quick turnaround on them. Before the rest of the operation just works out the actual crafting cost, but the multiplier at the beginning is 0.8, technically meaning under crafting cost, which I'm willing to take that hit just to sell them, just to be more competitive on price and to make sure that they sell quicker. I don't want mine being sort of like third or fourth in the list. I just want it to be cheapest. I want to get it sold because then I got an excuse to craft it again. That's the reason why. Right, that should now, in theory, be everything in a group. Let's just check everything. Everything's in a group. Good. What I am going to do is a reload to make sure that TSM saves all of those. Because if the game was to crash, you often lose things. And while it's loading, we will snack on a Yule scum. A Swedish Santa Claus. One of these businesses. Swedish Santa Claus candy thing. Yum yum. Maybe 2. Anybody have a guess when we're going to get rank 5? Well, rank 5 is not even something that's been confirmed. So, potentially never. But the logical answer would be the next patch. So 9.1. That's if Blizzard choose to just, you know, continue with the ranking system. Do profession changes generally show up on the beta for the next patch? They do, yeah. Put it this way, soon as I know, you'll know. Soon as Blizzard tells us, I'll know. So, I'll keep you in the loop. Imagine the cost of rank 5, 6, 7s and 8s. They're already expensive for a common player. But this is one thing you're going to notice in the next few weeks, is that people will very quickly see the price of legendaries come down. And they'll come down because there'll be less demand for them, and people will still be crafting materials. The materials will get cheaper because the supply of materials will outstrip the demand. For one very simple reason, like we were talking about a minute ago, it's kind of out of the realms of possibility for a lot of people to get into the legendary game now if they're not already in it. But the next best thing to crafting legendaries in terms of gold making is farming the materials for those who are crafting the legendaries, which means that there'll be a lot of people that won't be able to necessarily craft the legendaries themselves, but will still be able to make a lot of gold going out there skinning, mining, herbing, all of that good stuff. So there'll be a lot of the player base that will turn to that as a method of making gold, meaning there'll be a huge supply of materials for only a very few select players who are actually willing to buy them, which ultimately will mean that the price on those materials will start dropping very quickly. As an average, I've seen the price of heavy callous hide dropping about 100 to 200 gold a week. It's definitely dropping. Now, it has its spikes and it has its lows, but as an average, I'm starting to see the price of materials come back down again now. imagine the amount of shards you need. Well, yeah, if they keep like doubling the amount of shards you need every time, then yeah, it could get pretty expensive pretty quickly, but kind of true, but I don't imagine they'll make rank 8s with double the material cost of rank 4s. Who knows? If the materials are half the price and you double the materials, it still costs the same though, right? But I don't think we'll get... It won't be like in patch... We won't get 4 new ranks in one go. I don't imagine. Like, the system was going to be front-loaded. My expectation is that we'll just get 1 more rank in each patch. But my concern is how we get that rank. So in 9.1, I reckon we'll probably get a rank 5. And then in patch 9.2, I reckon we'll get rank 6, and so on and so on. My concern is not what we will get, my concern is how we acquire the ability to craft them. Because if Blizzard takes the approach of accessibility for all, which seems to kind of be the feel that Blizzard are going for with Shadowlands, I have a sneaky suspicion that they will allow crafters to get access to and craft rank 5s without the need to level up. Meaning that they could in theory skip rank 2, 3 and 4. I reckon rank 5 will be like a reputation grind from a new faction in a new zone or something like that. It will be sort of part of the system, but, you know, sort of separated from the main system, if that makes sense. That's not mega cheap, but it's cheap enough for me to buy it. Yoink. I'm likely to artificially keep the price of Callous Hide up, I think, over the next 24 hours. I think I kind of want to do that. Because I technically spent 1.6 million gold earlier. And I didn't even fully restock, never mind having spare materials for crafting when it gets busy tomorrow. So I'm kind of tempted to just, because the logic is if I'm not buying the materials, somebody else will. We'll see how it goes. What did we just sell? Boom! Rank 3 Umberhide Gauntlets. That was one we just unlocked, right? We just unlocked Umberhide Gauntlets rank 3, I think. There we go. Rank 3, 93,000 gold. Basically doubled our money on that one. That's what we need. If they do that, the arse will fall out of the rank 4 mark. It's so hard. Yeah. It will, but hopefully people will have made plenty enough. People will have cashed in hard enough to begin with, so that hopefully that by that point it won't be a problem. But this is why I worry for those people that are going against the recommendation of getting into the legendary game. Like I said, I don't recommend people get into legendaries at this point if they're not already deep into it, because there's probably just not enough time to A, level it up, and to B, recuperate your costs before something is likely to change. If that happens, if people power level over the next couple of weeks, if they power level to get to rank 4 and then start to recuperate some of their costs, and then 2 weeks later Blizzard release patch notes saying that there's going to be a rank 5 and you can skip ranks 1s to 4, people are going to lose a buttload of gold. That'll be the best conclusion for us goblins and the player base, but they will desperately want to remove gold from the economy. You've missed a crucial part of the arboreal shards are already removing gold from the economy. On top of that, the 5% auction house is just deleting millions of gold every day. What is happening right now is all of the gold is going into the pockets of very few people. All of the gold that is in the economy is being redistributed into the hands of only a couple of people. Do you think the Crafter's Mark rank 3s and 4s will be sold the same way as in the test realm? I think they'll likely be similar, like stat-wise. Crafter's Mark 3, I think, turned gear into 187, and Crafter's Mark 4 boosted crafted gear to item level 200. Now, I still feel, even at this point, those values are kind of balanced. What I don't know, though, is what the acquisition of those will be, and I don't think Blizzard knows either, really. So I just hope that Blizzard don't feel the need to fix something that's not broken. I guess I'm kind of biased in that regard, in terms of the fact that I'm invested so heavily in legendaries that I would quite happy to just add a rank 5 on the same basis as all the other ranks that you need to craft 1s, 2s, 3s and 4s to gain experience to get to rank 5. I'd be happy with that. But of course I'd be happy with that because I'm in the best position to take advantage of that. My big concern, and I genuinely feel it to be the most likely outcome, is that we'll get rank 5 and there'll be some way to acquire it without having to unlock rank 4, 3 or 2 first. Because Blizzard are very, very heavily going with a accessible for all kind of approach in Shadowlands. And locking what will be the next crafting system away from people completely, I genuinely don't think that they will do. I'll just exacerbate the concentration of gold with the whales, so I think it's very doubtful they'll do it. Yeah, exactly. It just promotes the rich getting richer, which is why I heavily think that however Blizzard choose to deal with the legendaries going forward, the 1 to 4 grind will be skippable at some point. The Rune Carver himself mentions the auction house. Yeah, it's funny the fact that he actually tells you to go to the auction house to look for your base vessel, which he's using terminology that Blizzard stopped using, which is a bit odd, but consistency is never Blizzard's strong point. A lot of people are complaining the legendaries are too expensive, so it's highly probable that they'll make them easier to get in the future. That's going to happen naturally anyway. That'll happen naturally. I guarantee you, if a rank 4 costs 100,000 gold this week, in 2 weeks' time, that rank 4 will only cost 50,000 gold. I virtually guarantee it. I mean, feel free to quote me on that in 2 weeks' time. There is no reason, unless Blizzard change something, there's no reason the legendaries are going to go up in price at this point. They can only go down. So whilst they may be too expensive for people today, every day they're likely to get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. Which means Blizzard don't need to step in and do anything. What do we do in 2 weeks' time then? Well, what do you mean? But you do understand the reason to why they'll be half price in 2 weeks' time, though, right? They'll be half the price in 2 weeks' time because the materials will also be half the price. Play the game. You funny. You funny. Play the game. What is this madman on? But yeah, you're right. The only reason I'm sticking with this is because I haven't completed my own personal goal. My personal goal was to get rank 4 in every slot. Now, I'm over halfway there, but I won't stop the whole auction house thing until I'm there. If I have a good Saturday, a good day of sales tomorrow, we might get leatherworking rank 4 across the board. Mail, though, is almost a complete write-off for me at this point. Stepped out of the auction house for 30 minutes, died like 4 times. Yep, I know that feeling. I know that feeling. I'm much safer in my little bubble. We should probably look at doing a restock on some of the other professions, though. I've solely focused on leatherworking this morning, and I'm cautious. I'm just going to keep dumping gold into leatherworking if I don't look at other things. So let's take a cheeky little look at Elysium. There's me saying all the materials are going down in price, and Elysium is going up in price again. Sure, fine. Lightless, 70 gold a piece. Still on the cusp of where I will buy it, but only just 75 gold. You know, it's really annoying that we're halfway through Friday. Saturday's a big day. I don't have a lot of lightless silk. I kind of feel I need to swoop in and buy a bunch of this before somebody else does. What's the damage on just buying a metric ton of this? 400k? It's almost a no-brainer. Okay, that's made a dramatic change to the lightless silk market. This can get sweeped up, or it cannot. Either way. Ice Touch. Ice Touch is actually one of the bigger players in tailoring on our server. He's choosing to sell all his... or hold all his spare stock. That's quite a ballsy move, putting what is probably most of his lightless silk on the auction house. Basically telling all of the other tailors that, hey look, I've got a lot of materials. What I am going to need is soul dust, like a lot of it. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Now, I could either spend many hours crafting and disenchanting to make soul dust for like 11 gold a piece, 10, 11 gold a piece, or I could just buy it all for 20 gold a piece and then not worry about it. Maybe I just buy it all for 20 gold a piece and not worry about it. Or like nearly 22 gold a piece. Do I want to spend 150k on soul dust so that I don't have to think about it again for the weekend? Knowing that it might come down to like 18 gold and I'll be annoyed? Yeah, of course I do. Okay, so that's a whole bunch of soul dust bought. We are going to wait, I think, on Elysium because it's still expensive. Although I'm not entirely sure I'm going to see it for less than 200 gold before the weekend. It's worth buying and not losing the time. See, that's my theory. That's my theory. on something that is not an inconsequential amount of gold, but the difference between 10 gold or 20 gold on dust is not as dramatic as it is to like try and save gold elsewhere. What do I do about this? There's a bunch of it at these prices, but I'm also aware that it's what I really don't want to do is put myself in the same position I was in last week, where I went into a busy part of the week with no materials and no stock. What's my restock on blacksmithing looking like anyway? Do I need a big chunky restock on? My restock on plate. My restock on plate is not that big anyway. We have a lot of items in stock, so on that basis, I'm not super concerned about not having many materials. Shadowghast Greaves, I need to craft a bunch of them now. Like, literally now. I've only got a single set of rank 4s on the auction house. Okay. Okay. Do I have any Elysium ore at all? Enchanted Elysium bars. Oh, I've got 600 of these. Oh, well that's good enough. We'll work with that then for now. I didn't realise I had... Oh, I know what it was. It wasn't enchanted Elysium bars I was struggling on yesterday. It was goddamn Shadowghast ingots. These puppies were being a pain in the ass. I need to craft a bunch of these. Has the ore prices stopped being stupid, do we think? I should set up a custom price source for... Yeah, I need to set up a custom price source for Shadowghast ingots. Just so I can do this quickly. 65... Hang on. 66 plus 48 plus 41 plus 26 plus 4 times 7.2. That's what, like 7, 14, 21, 20. Let's just call it 30. 211 divided by 2. It costs 105 gold to make a Shadowghast ingot right now. But that's being inflated heavily by the fact that Oxane ore is twice the price it should be. You could take, if Oxane ore went back down to like 30, 35, even 40 gold, you would be getting your Shadowghast ingots for like 90, 95 gold a piece very quickly. But once again, it's that, do you waste time buying and crafting them? Or do you just buy them at a price that is, I mean, there's 105 gold to make the things, or it is currently 100. Well, you can't really get them in mass. It's 105 to make them, or 125 to buy them. Yeah. You're paying a 20 gold premium every time to not craft them yourself, the way that it stands right now. Which means I probably should actually just be crafting them myself, even with the ore prices being a little bit higher than they should. What I might do, because I'm in no rush for blacksmithing items, is I might buy some of the ore that's cheap now, in case it gets reset. I say cheap, I mean I'm talking like 25 gold. How much Solanum ore do we have here? See, there's not actually that much of it at a good price anyway. It's more like Instead of 25 gold, it's more like 30 gold a piece for any reasonable quantity of it. Is that the same with all the others as well? We're looking at 42 gold a piece for Sinvir ore. Phaedrum ore that's always expensive. Hot damn, there's literally no Phaedrum ore at all anyway. I'm almost in a weird situation where I'm not going to be able to craft Shadowghast ingots even if I want to craft them. Maybe we just buy a bunch of this then. Let's go up to that. Can we do like 1500? It's going to put the price at... What happens if we go to 2000? 52 gold average if we buy 2000 Phaedrum ore. I mean, at that point we should just buy out the market, right? At that point we should just reset the market on Phaedrum. Reset the market on Phaedrum. That's really going to put a slap in the face. That's a big slap in the face to anybody that wants to craft Shadowghast ingots now. Because I'm not going to put that all back in the market. I've just taken it straight out. That's made it nigh on impossible for people to create Shadowghast ingots. What do I try and do the same on another ore? Is there another ore that we can do something similar on? I worry about trying to do the same with Solanum ore, simply because it's very, very heavily farmed. And Sinvir ore and Oxane ore are already expensive. Anything under 50 gold? Anything under 50 gold? That is more than I actually want. Anything under 50 gold. What I also don't want to really leave myself in the weird situation is now that I've bought a whole bunch of one ore, is if I can't get hold of the other ore, then I screw myself. So I want to buy at least a bit of all of the other ores anyway. Not necessarily resetting the market on them, but, you know, just kind of securing the fact that I should be able to make a bunch of Shadowghast ingots outside of resetting a market. So there's Sinvir ore, there's Phaedrum ore, Oxane ore. It's annoying because Oxane ore is the one that's stupid. We've actually got 700 Oxane ore kicking about somewhere. Do I believe TSM on that? I don't think I do. Hey up, cheeky, I like that. Not to mention the fact that that's 700 Oxane ore. I bought it for my smart average buy price on that is 17 gold. Love it. That means that I'm willing to pay a little bit more. How much is on the... see, this is a blatant I bought everything and relisted it kind of quantity. So Oxane ore I'm not over concerned about. Solanum ore, it is the cheap one. Let's just buy a bunch of this. Can we actually do some damage on this? Because these quantity numbers are pitiful. We at the very least are going to buy that. That's 2,000. That's what we like to craft Shadowghast ingots with anyway. So there was 2,000 taken out of the market. Somebody can swoop in and buy out the rest of this if they wish. I'm not too concerned doing it simply because there's a big chunk of it in the middle there. But past that, there is none. I'm chilling with that. I'm chilling with that. That's 3 of the. I'm chilling with that. That's fine. Ooh, Jesus, that's another 1.5 million gold I've spent today. Christ on a bicycle. Big cam mode, by the way. Yeah, I know, it's all good. It's fine. I'll just do this. Solemnum is probably the most botted. Probably. Probably. Not spent, invested. Very true. Very true. Right, let's send this where it needs to go. In fact, I think virtually all of it needs to go to the same dude. Have a bunch of dust. Have all of the dust. Yeah, because all of the lightless silk needs to be turned into enchanted lightless silk. Have a bunch of ore. Have a bunch more ore. Have the rest of the ore. Have that and that. And then this lot. Oh, we bought more callous hide even. Okay. Right, there we go. Well, that was a quick way to spend a mil again, wasn't it? But what we have achieved with doing that is we've now made it remarkably more difficult for our competition to do a good, healthy restock before the weekend. Because whilst it doesn't look like a lot has changed here, the difficulty is that there is literally no Phaedrum. That's the difficulty. There is not a drop of Phaedrum ore on the auction house right now. In theory, if I was going to go balls to the wall, I would buy out a whole bunch of this as well. In fact, I think I probably am. I'll buy the cheap stuff. Not because it's the price I want to pay, but just it means it forces people up in terms of price. And I'll make that back by everybody else scrambling. Nobody's going to want to pay 140 gold for those. I might just buy these as well. Not that I actually need to, but like I said, it's just so that my competition doesn't get them. I mean, I can always sell them back eventually as well. If you're going to strangle a market, you need to strangle it from all angles. Even if it costs you a bit to do it. Some dude just dumped 27,000 Widow Bloom on the auction house, even though there's about 30,000, 25k, 25 gold more expensive on it. Where do they even get this amount on a low pop server? Arguably not legitimately. To get that amount of Widow, if for one person to have 27,000 Widow Bloom, usually it's not legitimate. Or it's a goblin that's been buying it all up at a cheap price for a week and has then just dumped it all when they see the price be high. There's two options there. Because you've got to remember, some people's method of playing the auction house is literally buying and selling. Literally, they buy materials and then they sell materials, and that's all they do. They buy all of the little bits that they see throughout the week, and then when they've got a big chunk of it and they see the price go high, they dump it, and then they burn through it all in one go. But that is usually giving people more credit than what they're due. So now, whilst we paid a little bit over the odds for the Shadowghast ingots, we've technically paid a little bit over the odds. What it has meant is that most of our competition are going to have to pay more over the odds, and without the ability for them to step into the auction house and craft them themselves. So either they need to be in a position where they have lots already, or they're in a bit of a sticky situation. it was that exact sticky situation I was in last weekend, where I didn't have everything restocked, nor did I have the materials to do restocking. So I'm deliberately making sure that I don't put myself in the same position. I can even go as far as to slightly up the value of my Shadowghast ingots, so I still stay competitive on price. Blacksmithing as well. There we go. And now we need to set this dude off, firing away legendaries from all angles. How do you plan to buy materials as the price gradually goes lower during the next couple of weeks? In theory, I basically will pay virtually whatever I need to pay to restock. But once I'm restocked, I will literally only pick off the small amounts as and where I need to. It's a combination of playing relatively actively and also knowing the prices on things. Let's put the Shadowghast ingots up here. What's this? A bit of dust, a bit of silk, all of this ore. The ore we'll probably put in the bank for now, because we can craft from the bank. We don't need it in our bags. I mean, that theory is true to say for all of it, but you know what I mean. Pretty stacking used to pay for my sub back before the auction house changes. Yeah, whilst pretty stacking is not necessarily as much of a thing as it used to be, it kind of works. It still kind of works. You can still buy that, like when somebody posts just those small amounts of materials and they undercut by like a couple of gold, it doesn't seem like much, but if you repeatedly buy those out and then just dump all of it on the auction house in one go, you can sometimes come away with a nice cheeky profit by doing that. Man, I want full screen and chat on YouTube. Yeah, the interface for streaming on YouTube is pretty trash. I got to give it that. What I'm actually thinking about doing is changing my UI a little bit so that the chat appears on the stream. Now, I don't necessarily always like that in streams where there's a lot of spam, but for Twitch channels, for example, I tend not to like that because it's just flying emotes and it's just spam and it just looks horrendous. But I think when the chat is at least somewhat civilized, actually having the like it maybe under the camera, maybe moving the camera up a bit and having the chat underneath it, or vice versa or something, I can set it so that then you can just press full screen and you'll have the cam, you'll have the chat, and you won't have to worry about stupid YouTube interface as much. On some Twitch channels it doesn't add anything. Well, this is it. Like there's a fine line between it actually being a benefit and it just being an annoyance. Well, that'll do for now. Let's get this dude crafting away. 2,500 enchanted lightless silks later. That should mean that should now mean that we're good for tailoring. I mean, quite simply, good for tailoring. Blacksmithing, we've secured ourselves a whole bunch of shadow ghast ingots. That's going to really put the tighteners on the competition. We just now need to wait for a lithium ore to come down in price. Arguably, if people aren't able to get shadow ghast ingots, they're unlikely to buy a lithium ore because, you know, lithium ore is expensive right now anyway. So if we can get a lithium ore at a good price, maybe later today, possibly. Let's see how Friday night works. We'll then be good on blacksmithing for the weekend. We are stocked up on leatherworking, the leather side of leatherworking completely. We don't have many spare materials, but we've got a bit of gold to spend if we see some cheap materials. So we're kind of in a strong position, I think, going into Saturday. Saturday's always one of my biggest days, so. But whilst this dude is doing his thing, we can get this cancel scan on the go. Wow, 100 items to cancel. We're going to get throttled on this as well, aren't we? In fact, we're going to get to like 60 or something and we're going to hit a throttle. Oh, actually, a lot of it is stuff that I'm cancelling to post it at a higher price anyway. Because I tweaked my price on shadow ghast ingots, that's fine. Yeah, there's a lot of cancelling to repost, that's fine. Why are the prices on materials spiking on Wednesday or Saturday? Wednesday because it's reset day, and with reset day comes a big demand for items. Saturday mainly because it's the weekend, quite simply. Saturday is usually Saturday is often the first day of the week where people get to play a lot, so it's basically like reset day 2.0. There's often a combination though on a Saturday that there's lots of people farming. So there's a lot more materials going into the auction house, but there's a lot of materials going out of the auction house at the same time. But I've been throttled on these. So, oh, these are still cancelling quite quickly. No, these are going to take a while. I'm going to go take a quick bathroom break, boys and girls. You occupy yourselves by finding that like button. I'm not going to pester you to subscribe because that's your own doing, but for the love of God, hit the like button. Come on. It's New Year's Day. Throw your boy a bone here. I'm going to take a bathroom break. I'll occupy yourselves for a few minutes. I'll be back in 2. Alrighty, we're back. Oh, you lot did find the like button. Love that. Appreciate it, boys and girls. It's YouTube's fault for people not thumbs upping on streams. They hide it behind chat and they don't ask at the end of the video. Their energy goes into ads and ads. Did you read the November changes and how YouTube screws over small creators? I keep so many pairs of eyes on the YouTube sphere, it's not even funny. There's not a thing that goes on under the YouTube hood that I don't know about. It's in a much better place than what it's ever been, though. The issue is, right now, as it stands, is that YouTube is just genuinely still not great for live streaming. But it is getting better. Whilst the main competition in the market for streaming is obviously Twitch, and their streaming service is not getting better, it's getting worse. So, there'll be a crossover at some point. I just want to try and keep myself on the right side of the crossover, if that makes sense. Wow, my inventory exactly filled my bags. That's an OCD dream right there. Go. Thoughts on what to do when somebody drops 15 of a Lego for half the crafting cost and everybody drops to their price? Better to wait for it to reset naturally or to buy out and reset it yourself? The likelihood is that's probably on rank 1. If it happens on rank 1 items, there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. If it's happening on rank 2s and 3s, there's arguably some strategy that you can use, but the simple answer is it's on a rank 3. If it is genuinely 50% of crafting cost, either they're crazy, or what you consider crafting cost is too high, or a slight combination of both. If they are legitimately 50% of what the crafting cost is, then the likelihood is that either yourself or somebody else will buy them out. If they're posting them, I don't know. There's not much you can do in situations like that. You will always find people doing silly things because it's a game and it's fake money. So people will do silly things with it. Sometimes you just have to wait it out. What's Lego mean? New here. Lego is just short for legendary. Legendary item. To be honest, on Twitch, I'm not getting gold making recommended. I'm not really interested in PvP or yelling kids. YouTube gave me Manthieus one day before Shadowlands. Well, there we go. This is a big issue with Twitch in general. Is that Twitch just, as much as they try, and they are tweaking it and they are tuning things, their system is just simply not designed to recommend you or to show you content that you want to watch. And to some degree, it's not even Twitch's fault. It's just the inherent nature of live stream content. Is that it's very, very difficult to correctly categorize live content. Because you don't know, like the person that is creating that live stream arguably doesn't know what's going to happen in that stream unless it's a very like well organized, unless it's like a Dr. Disrespect level sort of organized stream where there's like high production value, but by that point you're in your own stratosphere and it doesn't really matter anyway. There's very, very little ways for Twitch to actually be able to recommend you live content that is beneficial or that you would actually want to watch. YouTube does it by basing it on the non-live content that you watch, which is hence why if some people watch one of my videos, the likelihood is then when I go live, it will pop up on the recommended page for them. Because they'll say, well, you liked this dude when he made a video, the chances are you'll like it when he's live. And most of the time that sort of plays true. If you look at Amazon Prime and that UI, you can tell they just don't care much about user experience. Yeah. This is also a side effect of a company like Amazon owning Twitch, is that Amazon, yes, in their own market are an absolute powerhouse, but the problem is that that expertise doesn't nicely translate to live video content. So, but yeah, what are you going to do? No, Amazon, I don't want to rewatch an episode I watched 3 days ago. I just want the next one. Thanks for recommending it, though. It's funny because it's true. Oh my god, this dude's still got 2,000 to go. He's literally not made a dent. Well, luckily I've got enough dust to keep him occupied for a while. This novice Mark is madness. Just sold a set of shade bound for a total of 60k gold. It's not even 5k gold to craft. This is madness. Hey, good effort, man. Well done. The level of Dutch people is high in this stream though. I like to see that. Short of going by people's names, I find it very difficult to work out where people are from. Mainly because everybody's English is so good nowadays. Plus, I don't know whether it's a nationality thing, but the Dutch do tend to enjoy their gold making. Dutch people will tell by any Dutch name. Yeah, I guess. There's quite a giveaway there. Yeah, because we greedy. That's another thing about streaming on YouTube as opposed to Twitch. Everybody on Twitch tends to go by some sort of different moniker, some sort of nickname, some sort of like on-screen name. Whereas on YouTube, a lot of people, you know, actually use their name. Which also means they're probably less inclined to post stupid shit in the chat. That's also true for, like, say for example, Facebook gaming, where you actually use your Facebook profile. So you're way less likely to, you know, start shouting racist slurs or doing stupid things when it's your actual, you know, identity that's attached to it. Dutch are generally known to be self-sufficient. Flemish are generally known to be adaptable. Is that a reverse / positive racism? I don't know, maybe. It's in our DNA. We will sell stuff at 300% of the price even to our own people. Sure. Right, there's a prime opportunity here. There's a prime opportunity to do something that's not auction house based, because we're at 100k for the hour, and that's 93 of that came from one item we sold 51 minutes ago. With this dude tippy-tapping away though, I don't have any spare accounts to be doing anything else. This is why I need to join the 3 account club, you know, because whilst this dude is going to be tippy-tapping away for goddamn hours making all this enchanted lightless silk, kind of hinders me from being able to do anything fun in the game. Right now I should be out there, like, you know, playing the game, doing some Torghast, but I'm stuck. And the difficulty when I'm stuck in a situation like this is that I turn to the auction house and then I start buying things. Used to have a calendar about how Dutch people sell stuff. Buy 2, pay for 3. That's a deal. Steal. Sailor in century. Oh, you poor rich goblin. Alright. Ever heard of the AAA? What, the Auction House Addicts Anonymous? Is that what we're talking about? I've not heard of it. I'm the leader of it. Anonymously, obviously. Material prices are a bit mental at the moment. Only leather is alright right now. Elithium ore at 400 gold, lightless silk at 170. And every ore is 40 gold plus with Essence of Rebirth at 1600. Sounds pretty normal to me. They sound like good prices. Every ore at 40 gold, I'd take that. Rank 4 Shadowghast boots for 50k though. I'll take that as well. Accept what you cannot change and reset what you can. Rule number 1. That's very fitting considering we've just like stolen half of the materials off the auction house. Hang on, people are posting enchanted heavy callous hide at 3,400 gold. That's like a good deal. Because that's exactly 1,700 times 2. It doesn't take any time at all to make those anyway, and 1,700 gold is the upper threshold of what I'd be paying for it. It's interesting how all 3 of these balance right now. There's no premium for an enchanter in these at the moment. It wouldn't surprise me though if, I'm gonna say, maybe Sunday, maybe Monday, we see heavy callous hide down to like 1,200 gold a piece. I think it's gonna drop by a good chunk of change in the next few days, I think. Is deliberately taking the market price down legal? Well, of course it is. It's just very difficult to do, and I don't know why you would want to do it, because the market price is basically dictated to you by a third-party add-on. That actually, it's more difficult than most people think to change the market price, because at least say DB Market, for example. If you'll see often that are items, let's see if I can find a good example of this. You'll find items like this, for example. There's one here for 500,000 gold. Now you would think that one at 500,000 gold would have a relatively large effect on the market price of the item, but it doesn't, because TSM is designed to like chop off and ignore the far extremes. So when people do things like this or post like stupidly low, it's not taken into account for the market price. So it's actually more difficult than you first realise to forcibly change the market price on something. Some guy did it yesterday because he thought it's too expensive, but he ended resetting it himself later. That's just a Darwin doing a Darwin thing. What did we sell? Rank 4 shoulders. Rank 4 tailoring shoulders for 30k. That's like, even it's odd when you see a rank 4 and you go 30k, your initial thought is like, Jesus, that's cheap. But actually, a rank 4 tailoring item for 30k is still doubling your money. Because these things are maybe 15k to craft. Maybe. So to even set this is why tailoring kind of has the ability to be alright in terms of profit. It's just, it's because the profit's just a little bit more hidden from view. When everybody looks at legendaries as a whole and they're like, oh, well, you've got Umberhide Treads at rank 4 for 250,000 gold here. 30k, super cheap 30k, but 30k on tailoring shoulders is still like 100% profit. You can't argue a profit, you know. Had somebody resetting the enchanted Elysium bar yesterday to double without touching the ore. Not price on enchanted is back to the same, and the ore's even cheaper than it was yesterday. That's an example of somebody doing only half a job. They're what we call half a job Harrys. They do half the job, don't do the other half, and it's not a job well done. Apologies to anybody that may be called Harry. But at least if your name's Harry, at least your name isn't actually Karen. Could be worse. Is he under 2,000 yet? Yes. Now we're getting somewhere. Poor Harry always does it right. He's still doing it wrong. That's it. Yeah, there's a few discrepancies on the tooltips between leggings and greaves and stuff like that. The worst thing was at the beginning of the expansion. Does it still do it now even? Is it still that... I can't remember what profession it was. But the tooltips were even showing you the wrong item level. I think it might have been leatherworking. That the 160 gear was showing... in leatherworking, it was showing the 160 gear as being item level 165, but then when you craft it, it was only item level 151, and that's bad news. I'm not sure if they fixed that or not though. But yeah, there's definitely some telltale signs of things being rushed towards the end of the development cycle before the game was released. Decided to jump on the leatherworking market for legendaries myself. There are very few competitors and I've got 10 mil to invest. Most rank 2s and up are profitable. I'll give you a sneaky heads up. That 10 million is not going to get you very far. Yeah. Whilst it sounds like you're balling with 10 million gold, it's not going to get you very far. I mean, just quick maths. Let's look at leather working. Leather. Let's say you're able to get heavy callus hides at 1500 gold a piece, and you can then get your enchanted ones for 3000 gold a piece, which is very good prices. Yeah, for leather legendary with these prices, assuming your arboreal shard price, oh, you can't see half of that. Assuming your arboreal shard price is reasonable, it would still cost you 12.5 million gold to max out leatherworking at these prices, assuming that you can buy what is then 2,500 enchanted heavy hide, or the equivalent of 7,500 heavy callus hide you would need to be able to buy. Boil shards are 100 gold for you, goblin racial. That will make some difference, but not. I mean, it made like 100k difference. Like it's a minute difference in comparison to your heavy callus hide price. And these are at good prices, like really good prices. The fact that you'd be wanting to buy so many, your average price is likely going to spike up to at least 2k per, which would mean you're actually looking at somewhere in the region of 16 mil to max it out based on these prices. Just be careful. 10 mil sounds like loads. Sounds like loads. But in reality, where leatherworking is concerned, it's not a lot at all. Morning, Super. Happy New Year to you too. Have a good one. Let's hope it's better than the last one. And one issue I would also point out when it comes to power leveling leatherworking right now is that my foresight on material prices is that they are only going to go down from here on out. Which means what you craft today, if you don't sell it today, it's worth less than it was yesterday. And that trend is going to continue. Which is another reason against crafting 15 of an item in one go. You're very likely to... You got to balance it out. That do you think the profit you'll make from those odd sales you'll get in 3s and 4s will outweigh the many millions of gold you'll have to spend to get there? And all of that is in consideration before you even look at the fact that there's probably a bunch of players already on your realm that have rank 4s across the board, and those players are very likely to make it difficult for you to sell anything at all. You guys demand so much from a simple indie company. Yeah, we give Blizzard some stick. I guess we should remember that there's probably only 3 developers for this game. It's probably tough for them to do it all, you know. If only they were a multi-billion-dollar company that, you know, who knows. I really don't want to sit looking at the auction house because I just spend things. I need this dude to hurry up with his enchanted lightless silks. I need to eat another after 8 because they're really goddamn tasty. I in theory should go and eat some proper food though. Sitting live streaming playing World of Warcraft eating chocolates is not going to do my health any good. High Pop Realm has only 4 235 helms up on the auction house for the past week, and some slots have had 0 on the auction house. Not many people leveled leatherworking Legos, I guess. There's 2 very, very contrasting statements there. High Pop and none on the auction house. It makes me even more concerned that there's that's the case for a reason. That makes me think that you probably wouldn't be able to get the materials you need in the first place. I do put it this way: if you're looking at leatherworking, I don't want to I'm not here to piss on your chips or to ruin your day, but what I will say is make sure before you craft anything you are absolutely confident in what you're doing, because something about that doesn't sound right. It's even after 8, even when it's before 8. Hey, 8 o'clock happens twice a day. You're always kind of technically after an 8 at some point. After 8 diet is great and minty. At least my breath smells good. There's one thing. Right, this dude is going to be tippy-tapping away doing these for a long-ass time. I almost might just stop doing this and go do something, because I don't want to sit in the auction house. Genuinely don't want to sit in the auction house. Because I will just start buying things. Especially if I start looking for things to buy. How do I play the auction house without looking for things to buy? Is that even possible? Am I living a dream right now? I definitely don't want to look at the BOE market, because I absolutely will buy stuff if I look at the BOE market. Great marketing, like the company that decided to call their chocolate boxes Merci. How many other people are online, actually? Oh, there's only one other dude online. When I say only one other dude online, I'm referring to who is actually what I would consider a goblinry competition. But I'm also aware that if I want to actually play the game at any point today, now is kind of the time to be doing it. Because this evening I might get glued to the auction house. Although it's New Year's Day, the wife has got a day off. I probably should just turn the computer off, you know. I should be a good husband for at least one day of the year. Start the year off right, okay? Get my brownie points in nice and quickly on the first day of the year, and then the rest of the year can just be a blur. Go farm some wife rep. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. That might be sensible. Is there a way I can add a Crafter's Mark variant of an item to TSM? Not easily. Yeah, not easily. Get it over with on the first day. Yep. Perfect time to teach her how to be a goblin. I did try and teach her how to play World of Warcraft many years ago. It didn't go very well. The extent of her playing games is Heyday. She's a multi-millionaire in Heyday. She is balling with gold in Heyday. For you that may or may not know, that's the Supercell mobile game. Give her all the give her my after eights. I love her and all, but you know, there's limits. Let's not do stupid things. Heyday flipping tutorial incoming. I don't know how she does it. Like she just I don't know. Exactly, priorities. Right, this dude's going to take forever doing this. This dude's going to take a year and a half doing this. I think I'm going to actually take some of my own advice, boys and girls. I think I'll probably call the stream there for today. We got ourselves nicely stocked up. We may or may not. Technically, I usually take the weekends off, but we might do a stream tomorrow morning, as I foresee Saturday being pretty crazy. Yeah, I'm going to take some of my own advice, go spend some time with the wife, enjoy New Year's Day. I hope you guys have a good day as well. Happy goal making to all of you. I haven't actually got a video planned for today. This is really not a good way to start the year, is it? Not at all. Really not a good way to start the year. Well, I'm going to go chill for a few hours, leave this guy crafting all, tippy-tapping away, doing his thing. Enjoy the rest of your day, boys and girls. Happy goal making. And yeah, I'll stream tomorrow. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.